Two British princesses are getting swept up in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Beatrice and Eugenie are the daughters of former Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. As CNN reports from London, recently released Epstein files feature their parents' names hundreds of times.
Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are reportedly considering breaking their silence with a tell-all interview about their parents' devastating connections to Jeffrey Epstein. The King's nieces, now 37 and 35, have been thrust into an unprecedented royal scandal that's left them questioning everything they thought they knew about their family. The sisters are among the few members of the Windsor clan to hold HRH titles, yet they've watched helplessly as their father, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, was stripped of his royal status, and their mother, Sarah Ferguson, became embroiled in explosive email exchanges with a convicted sex offender. Now, with over 3 million pages of Epstein files released by the US Department of Justice on January 30th, 2026, Beatrice and Eugenie find their names scattered throughout documents that detail their parents' disturbing proximity to one of history's most notorious criminals.
It is splashed all over the papers and has been for a couple of weeks now, but there is some sympathy, of course, for Beatrice and Eugenie, who seem to be very much caught up in their parents' scandal.
According to insider sources, the princesses have received extraordinary offers to tell their story, from Oprah Winfrey to exclusive Netflix deals. The pressure to speak out has intensified as new revelations continue to emerge, painting an increasingly damaging picture of how deeply their parents were entangled with Epstein's world. But this isn't just about clearing their names. It's about two daughters grappling with the horrifying realization that their parents may have betrayed not only their trust, but the trust of countless victims. The scale of what Beatrice and Eugenie are facing cannot be overstated. Their father, once known as Prince Andrew, Duke of York, has been completely ostracised from royal life. In November 2025, King Charles took the extraordinary step of signing letters patent under the Great Seal, formally declaring that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor shall no longer be entitled to hold the style, title, or attribute of Royal Highness. It was an unprecedented move that sent shockwaves through the monarchy and left his daughters to pick up the pieces. But the humiliation didn't stop there. Both Andrew and Ferguson have been evicted from the Royal Lodge, with Andrew now living in temporary accommodation at Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate.
The focus has been on the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. But in this latest trove, we see that there are clear allegations, signs of a deep friendship, deep affection between Sarah Ferguson and Jeffrey Epstein.
Ferguson, reportedly facing a housing crisis, hasn't even been offered permanent accommodation by her own daughters, which tells you just how fractured this family has become. The most damaging revelations centre around a 2009 incident that's haunted the family for years. The DOJ files reveal that Ferguson visited Epstein in Miami just 5 days after he was released from prison, having served only 13 months of an 18-month sentence for soliciting prostitution from an underage girl. What makes this particularly devastating for Beatrice and Eugenie is that they were there. Then, 20 and 19 years old, they joined their mother for a meal with Epstein on July 27, 2009. Royal author Robert Jobson captured the magnitude of this betrayal when he told Hello magazine, "They must be overwhelmed and aghast by this. What was Sarah Ferguson thinking? Taking her daughters, the late Queen's granddaughters, to meet this vile convicted criminal."
One of the incidences that allegedly took place, according to these emails, is a lunch in Miami that occurred just 5 days after Epstein was released from jail for soliciting sex from a minor.
It really beggars belief. The email exchanges between Ferguson and Epstein, now public, read like something from a disturbing alternate reality. Ferguson referred to Epstein as a legend and the brother she'd always wished for. In January 2010, she wrote, "You are a legend. I really don't have the words to describe my love, gratitude for your generosity and kindness. I am at your service. Just marry me." These aren't the words of someone who viewed Epstein as dangerous. They're the words of someone who considered him family. For Beatrice and Eugenie, Reading these exchanges must feel like discovering their mother was living a double life. British royal analyst Hilary Fordwich noted that the sisters are frightfully embarrassed and mortified by their parents' behaviour. Russell Myers, royal editor of Britain's The Mirror, explained the emotional toll. It's incredibly distressing for both young women to see themselves mentioned so freely by their parents to a convicted sex offender. The sisters' response to this crisis has revealed stark differences in their personalities and approaches.
Emails, it appears to show that Sarah Ferguson went to Miami to visit him with both her daughters, Eugenie and Beatrice, and that even possibly Epstein paid for their flights that cost about $14,000. Now again,
Eugenie, according to insiders, has completely cut off her father. She felt obligated to cut him off, if only out of solidarity to the many Epstein victims, and also to send a clear message to the likes of King Charles and his heir Prince William that she in no way supports him anymore, sources reveal. A friend told Page 6, "I know that Eugenie feels like she's being tarnished with a brush that's not hers, that's her father's." Beatrice, however, has taken a different path. Despite the mounting evidence against their parents, she's reportedly desperately trying to stay on good terms with both Andrew and Ferguson. This has created tension between the sisters, with Eugenie pushing for a united front. Eugenie is telling B that it's time to wake up, insiders claim. As painful as it is to disown their father, he's brought it all upon himself, and they can't be associated with him. The pressure on both sisters extends beyond family dynamics. Questions are being raised about what they knew and when they knew it. As one source put it, the questions remain, both inside the palace and publicly, as to whether Beatrice and Eugenie could have raised concerns both to their parents, or more widely, considering how close they were brought into Epstein's world, even after he was convicted of serious sex offences. Adding another layer to this tragedy is Beatrice's unwitting role in one of the most disastrous royal interviews in modern history. Sam McAllister, the BBC producer who negotiated Andrew's infamous 2019 Newsnight interview, revealed that Beatrice was the difference between yes and no. She had tried to look out for her father, even asking tentative questions during the negotiation process. According to reports, Beatrice is now mortified that she didn't do more to prevent the interview from going ahead. Sources say she has been in tears every day since the interview went out. The financial and reputational fallout continues to devastate the family. Andrew reached an out-of-court settlement with Virginia Giuffre, reportedly worth up to $12 million. Sarah's Trust, the charity Ferguson founded to help women and children, has shut down for the foreseeable future following the release of the Epstein emails.
Ms. Ferguson has denied any allegations of wrongdoing. These are allegations in these emails. They are not verified, but there was more emails in there in that trove that again showed that depth of relationship. One where Sarah Ferguson signs off, "Marry me," XXX kisses to Jeffrey Epstein. So you get a sense of just how close they are, the potential that the girls, Beatrice and Eugenie, may have been drawn into that world. And now, of course, this is splattered all over the papers for the world to see. And
6 companies linked to Ferguson are also being shut down, with Ferguson listed as the sole director of companies that have all applied to be struck off the UK's official register. Despite everything, King Charles has shown remarkable support for his nieces. Royal expert Richard Chard explained, "King Charles admires his nieces and wishes to protect them. Prince William loves his cousins and doesn't want them ostracised. The palace has made it clear that Beatrice and Eugenie will retain their princess titles, because, as officials note, they obviously played no part in their father's downfall." Both sisters have built independent lives away from royal duties. Beatrice founded BYEQ, a strategic consultancy, while Eugenie works as a director at art dealer Hauser & Wirth. They're both mothers to young children. Beatrice has 5-year-old Sienna, 1-year-old Athena, and stepson Wolfie, while Eugenie has August, 5, and 2-year-old Ernest. They've maintained their charitable work, serving as patrons for organisations like Teenage Cancer Trust, with Eugenie co-founding the Anti-Slavery Collective. As the pressure mounts for them to speak publicly, sources suggest there's an inevitability about a tell-all interview. Both of them do want to tell their side, but it would have to be done in a trusted and controlled environment, according to insiders. They reportedly want to clear their name, but aren't ready to badmouth their parents on TV, especially Beatrice. It's just not in their nature. The world watches as two young women navigate an impossible situation, caught between loyalty to their parents and the need to distance themselves from actions they never chose. Whatever they decide, Beatrice and Eugenie's story represents one of the most heartbreaking collateral damage stories in royal history, where innocent family members pay the price for decisions that were never theirs to make. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Should Princess Beatrice and Eugenie do an interview? Would you watch it? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more royal family news, be sure to subscribe.